The lump under the rug. This is a story about a guy who goes crazy. Or does he? Scott was a 62-year-old author. He wrote various noble books. He lived in a small town in Georgia. He did not have many friends. His best friend was his 38-year-old neighbor, Todd. One day, Scott spotted a lump under the rug, so he went to push it down. But when he walked to it, it disappeared. He then went to bed and thought nothing of it. The lump came back every day for 2 months. Scott just ignored it. Scott went to Todd's house to borrow some mouse traps. He hoped that would work. But the lump just kept on coming back. The next day, as Scott focused on his new book, he felt hungry. So he went to the kitchen and drank bitter coffee and ate a stale bagel. Then he went back to work. After 2 hours, he heard his dog barking. Scott looked over his shoulder and yelled, "Shut up! I'm working!" The dog would not stop barking. Scott got up and put the dog outside. He then went to bed. The next morning, Scott's phone was ringing. It was Todd. "Hello?" mumbled Scott. "I'm so sorry, Scott," claimed Todd. "Sorry for what? You did nothing wrong," spoke Scott. "Come outside, now, please," cried Todd. "Okay, hold on, I'm coming," said Scott. As he went outside, he saw Todd crying, as Todd was sitting next to Scott's dead dog. "Oh my God, what happened?" yelped Scott. "I don't know, I just saw him over here, so I came to see if he was okay. But he's dead," said Todd. Later that day, they buried the dog, thinking he maybe just got hit by a car. "I'm going to miss him," claimed Scott. "Me too," cried Todd. After Todd went home, Scott started writing another book. He was sad and frustrated. He looked over his shoulder and saw the lump was back. He got up and walked to it. "What do you want from me?" yelled Scott with rage. The lump just sat there. Scott stared at it with anger. The lump started to move. Scott tried to push it down with his foot. It was too fast, so Scott grabbed a chair. The lump started to knock over stuff. He was getting really, really mad. He tried to hit the lump with the chair. Meanwhile, next door, Todd heard all of the racket. So then he went to Scott's house to see what was going on. "What are you doing?" yelled Todd. Scott soon stopped, and the lump went away. "I'm trying to get that lump," said Scott unhappily. "What lump?" asked Todd. The lump appeared again. "That one!" screamed Scott. Scott tried to hit it again. "There's nothing there! Stop!" declared Todd. Scott kept on trying to hit the lump. Todd had enough. He called 911, and they came and got Scott. "It was there!" fussed Scott as the police put him in the truck. Sue, the detective, went into Scott's house to talk to Todd. "I heard crashing, so I came to Scott's house. Then as I peered in the window, I saw Scott hitting the rug with a chair. I asked him what he was doing. All he said was something about a lump," said Todd. "Okay, I'll look around to see what's wrong with the house," responded Sue. Later that night, Sue handed Todd a letter and walked off. He then opened the letter and read about what Sue found. She found nothing was wrong with the house. Todd went to go visit Scott to tell him he's crazy. "How could you? I can't believe you betrayed me. I feel hopeless," growled Scott. "I'm sorry, but I had to. There's nothing wrong with the house. You are just crazy." Todd walked off. Later that night, Todd went to Scott's house to get some stuff. As he filled his arms with things, there was a pounding at the door. Todd put the things down and opened the door. "Hello?" spoke Todd. "Hi, I need to tell you something," answered a lady. Okay," said Todd. "There's something very bad in this house. It's a," yelped the lady. She then passed out. "Are you okay? Hello? Hold on, I'll get help," cried Todd. He ran to the phone and dialed 911. But something caught his eye. It was a lump in the rug. He tiptoed over. Later the cops arrived. No one was at the house. Todd and the lady were nowhere to be found. Blood stained the walls. One cop looked down the hall and saw a little girl crying. She was covered in blood. "Are you okay?" asked the cop. "You should have never came," giggled the little girl. She then turned around and looked at the cop and smiled. "Hello?" said the cop. The little girl ran up to him. "Do you want to play hide and seek? First one to find my hamster dies," whispered the girl. She then disappeared into thin air. The cop backed up. He tripped over a lump in the rug. "Oh, you found him! Time for you to die," squeaked the little girl. "Help!" yelled the cop. "Oh, silly you! No one can help you now. They're all dead," teased the girl. "What do you mean?" asked the cop in fear. "Just look around. Everyone's dead. All your friends. Everyone," laughed the girl. The cop looked around and the lights flickered. He saw everywhere were dead bodies. "Oh my God! What did you do?" cried the cop. "You ask too many questions," hissed the girl. She ran after him. Blood splattered everywhere. "I win again," squealed the little girl. She then picked up her hamster. "Now we let Scott hide too long. Let's go find him," snickered the girl. In a hospital bed laid 62-year-old Scott. He was sick and dying. "I should have never hit that lump in the rug," whispered Scott as he closed his eyes. "I found you. Time to die," echoed the girl. The lights flickered, then turned off.